Todd and Terry are twins, blonde, cute as buttons, bright and identical in every aspect, with one exception. One of them is a murderer. It all started one night at the drive-in when a teenager was slaughtered in the back seat of his car while his girlfriend watched. Todd was found guilty for the heinous crime and locked away in an asylum. Years passed, and Terry lived happily with his mother, who smothered him with enough love for two sons. All was fine until one night when they received news that Todd escaped. The nightmare begins once again, and out of its forbidding darkness steps a maniacal killer, raging for blood. But which brother is the killer? The truth may not be seen until it's too late. And that's the actual Prism VHS box rear, the back of the VHS box cover from the Prism VHS of Blood Rage, released in 1987. The VHS artwork is courtesy of VHScollector.com. It's kind of a bummer that they don't mention anything about Thanksgiving. It would have been kind of funny to say, once again, out for whatever, raging blood on Thanksgiving, or one Thanksgiving evening. But I guess they don't really want to make it about the holiday. But for any of you who haven't seen Blood Rage, it's one of my Thanksgiving staples to watch. And then I've got another really quick VHS rear to read here. Neil Page is an advertising executive who just wants to fly home to Chicago to spend Thanksgiving with his family. But all Neil Page gets is misery. Misery named Del Griffith, a loudmouthed but nevertheless lovable salesman who leads Neil on a cross-country wild goose chase that keeps Neil from tasting his turkey. Steve Martin and John Candy are absolutely wonderful as two guys with a knack for making the worst of a bad situation. If it's painful, funny, or just plain crazy, it happens to Neil and Del in planes, trains, and automobiles. Every traveler's nightmare in a comedy come true. And that's from, once again, VHScollector.com, the rear artwork. On the bottom here, it says copyright 1989. So I would imagine that's the original VHS artwork. Those are the two things I wanted to start the show with. Looks like it's a good thing I did, because I'm not seeing anyone in chat yet. I asked you guys a couple days ago if anyone had any topics to start the show with, and I got 3 thumbs up and no topics. So I was all on my own there. What we're going to do is we'll probably go for 30 minutes. If no one shows up in chat, we'll probably call it good. But I've never, I've never not had anyone show up in chat. So we'll see what happens. This being a quote unquote holiday, it's possible that, any North American listeners won't show up, which I guess is kind of understandable. But at the same time, it's not understandable. What the hell are you participating in, holidays for? But whatever, maybe you enjoy it. I guess if you enjoy it, who am I to take away your enjoyment? But so I'm going to do my best to try to freaking talk for 30 minutes. If no one shows up in chat, I'll say hasta la vista at that point, I guess. I guess I could talk about, while I'm waiting for people to show up, if anyone's gonna, I guess I could talk about my history with trains, planes, and automobiles. The movie, my dad and I saw it in the theater, and I'm very, very grateful that we saw it in the theater, because it just left this indelible impression on me seeing it on the big screen. And I can't remember when it came out. One would think it came out around November 1988. I don't remember when it came out in the theater, but I know, I mean, at the time, I was a huge fan of Steve Martin and John Candy and stuff, so it was a no-brainer. My dad and I went to see Trains, Planes, and Automobiles in the theater, and it was a great experience back when, I mean, comedies could still be, you could have a movie like that that was, produced by and distributed by Paramount and stuff. Comedies were still like, or could still have a heart and actual humanity. And, obviously I regard Steve Martin and John Candy as two of the greats from the 70s and 80s and movies and TV and stuff like that. So it was really fun to see that in the theater with my dad. And some of the things that I related to the movie with was my dad had a brother who was a lot like um, John Candy's character in the movie. So I think my dad and I enjoyed the Trains and Planes and Automobiles a little more because of that. Also, my dad's mom lived in Montana, and a couple times, maybe two or three times, we'd made the road trip from Minnesota to Montana to go visit her. So I was familiar also with traveling and staying in cheap, seedy, not that we stayed in cheap, seedy, motels, but yeah, I was familiar with the character that John Candy played in the movie. Yes, Gary, I see you. Just let me finish my point. Thanks for showing up, by the way. I was familiar with, the kind of the goofy goofball character that John Candy played because he was like my uncle, and I was also familiar with the cross country traveling and by car and staying in motels or and stuff like that. So those elements made the movie even more relatable for me on a personal level. So I can remember when it came out, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles came out on VHS in '89, and going to the video store, mom and pop video store by the name of Simply Video, and going there and just hoping and hoping and hoping that they had a copy in, and just being so glad when they did, and seeing the back of the VHS and stuff and being like, oh, so many times as a kid that happened where I go to a video store and a movie had just recently come out and I just hoped and hoped and hoped they'd have a copy in. And when you saw the box, it was just like the biggest revelation in the world. Like, wow, they got it in and fun times ahead. But welcome, Gary Page. He says, hi, Nate, I'm here. But if nobody else shows up, it's your holiday. I understand. Oh, no, we can chat for like 30 minutes and we'll see, see if anyone shows up. We might, if it's just you and me, we might not go 2 hours, but we'll see what happens. I don't imagine people celebrate Thanksgiving in Europe, or do people in Europe have a different something else going on? When's Boxing Day? What the hell is Boxing Day? Is that now or sometime around now? We could hope that people like C-Snap and possibly others that aren't in North America might show up, but we can chat for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, even if it's just you and I. We might not go for 2 hours if it's you and I only, but you know, the show has often been slow to start, so we'll just play it by ear as always. But welcome, Gary. I was half expecting no one to show up, but I'm glad you showed up. Anything you want to talk about? Oh, okay. So he says Boxing Day is day after Christmas Day. So you don't have any holidays that are taking place right now like we do in North America. In case anyone's wondering, Gary Page in the chat is from the UK. So that's why he's here, because he's not in North America feeling like he has to celebrate a holiday for genocide. The show's yours for now, Gary. You can flood me with anything and anything you want to say. It's a good thing I had a little bit to blab about with my, Trains, Planes, and Automobiles recollections. That it's still a movie that I holds a special place in my heart, and because I still don't have it on Blu-ray, but because it's one of these movies that you watch once a year, I just never felt like I need to get it on Blu-ray. The DVD I got is adequate for once a year viewing. Gary Page says no. I think he means there's no holiday-ish stuff going on in the UK today. Okay, good. Well, hopefully C-Snap, he showed up like just 5 minutes before the end of the show last week. Hopefully he can show up this week. And, I would imagine, as I keep on saying, that most people in the US are stuffing their face right now. So maybe it'll just be you and I. Let's see how long we can. Oh my God, go just you and I. I'll make a separate video about this sometime, maybe early next week. But I should also mention, if someone's listening to this after the fact, that I've got something, just so happens something landed right on Thursday next week. So I won't be able to do the show next week. But judging from whatchamacallit, showing up. Well, of course, today's a holiday, so you really can't judge based on that. But just let you guys know, anyone who's listening after the fact, I won't be doing a show on December 2nd, but you've got plethoras and plethoras of output on this channel to enjoy, to keep you, whatchamacallit, entertained for a week. I'm not making any promises, but we're going to see if maybe to make up for it, we'll see about possibly Nate and Beth shows sometime, today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. I don't want to make any promises, but we'll see how things go. And with Nate and Beth show possibly within the next 4 days or something like that, that could kind of make up for no show next Thursday. Gary says, okay, Nate, is Blood Harvest Bill Rebane's best film? Not in my opinion. In my opinion, my favorite Bill Rebane movies are Rana, The Legend of Shadow Lake, and The Alpha Incident. And luckily, it's a bummer that that Rana isn't on that Arrow video collection for obvious, probably copyright reasons. But luckily, The Alpha Incident is, and it's the first time I actually saw its full, like, R-rated cut with a little bit, I think, of extended gore when Ralph Meeker's head blows up, but you also get to see that chick's, tatas. There's some toplessness from that main chick as well. And until I got that Blu-ray, I've never seen the R-rated version. It's been like an edited version, the VHS, and this crap DVD I got has always been a truncated, censored cut version. So I don't, in my opinion, I don't think Blood Harvest is his best, but I know that the gore aspects of that movie, he's not a big fan of gore. I think he grew up in, I can't remember. He grew up in, I think, like Germany, and if I don't know if it was during the time of World War II or something. He probably saw his fair share of actual death and carnage, like Paul Verhoeven. Of course, Paul Verhoeven was like, a gore psycho as a filmmaker as a result of it. But I think Bill, anyway, Bill doesn't like gore in his movies. I think he was kind of obligated, or something, maybe he had some obligation to the financiers of Blood Harvest to have gore scenes. But I will say about Blood Harvest that the main chick in that movie, wow. I do have the Blood Harvest Blu-ray. I'm pretty sure I would have reviewed the movie in Blu-ray sometime after I got it. But those are my favorite Bill Rebane movies: Rana, The Legend of Shadow Lake, and The Alpha Incident. Rana's the first Bill Rebane movie I saw. Actually, incidentally, 30 years ago, my dad gifted me the VHS of Rana for my birthday, and wow, that movie has been a part of my life for 30 years. I wouldn't see Blood Harvest until, like, I don't know, maybe early, or not Blood Harvest, Alpha Incident, until early 2000s when I got the VHS previously viewed. And then I was like, holy crap, that's the guy who did Rana. Gary says Alpha Incident and Rana were released on VHS here way back in the day, early 80s. That's cool. Once again, we've got our goofy thumbs up thing going crazy. So we've got 4 thumbs up. Yeah, I had never seen The Game, Bill Rebane's The Game, and recently saw that as a, because it's a part of the Arrow video, was it called Weird Wisconsin Bill Rebane Blu-ray collection, and I gotta admit, I mean, the game wasn't that amazing. I liked Demons of Ludlow because, like with Capture of Bigfoot, it kind of had that Wisconsin authentic winter aspect to it, which was fun. I have yet to see Twister's Revenge. Gary asks, or Gary says, "Yeah, leading actress in Harvest was very nice, wasn't she great?" And of course, we're referring to her body, not her acting. Yeah, what's funny is I think they use the same house and barn, not very much, but I think it's also featured in Demons of Ludlow. I think like just shown briefly. It's either that or yeah, I think because the game takes place at that one location. So I think it's Demons of Ludlow, like the house and the barn from whatchamacallit, Blood Harvest is briefly shown in a shot or two from Demons of Ludlow. You know what else is funny about the game? They use the severed head, Ralph Meeker's severed head, or the head. Well, Ralph Meeker doesn't get his head cut off in Alpha Incident, but they made a fake head for his brain, bulging out of his head effect, and they used that Ralph Meeker head as a kind of like a severed head in the game, which is funny. I wonder if he's still, I don't think. I should have asked him if he still had that Ralph Meeker head when I met him, but it's hard to think of everything. I'm seeing 7 hitchhikers once again. I don't know if this is real people that are showing up to support and leaving or what. Well, last week it was like 16. What's funny is, when you go and watch the radio show back, it's like all the likes aren't even recorded. Like it's also like depending on what you look at the video on, it might have different likes. So it's kind of funny. I'm seeing 8 now. It's just goofy. Maybe it's a part of their new restructuring of keeping the thumbs down hidden. Maybe there's a glitch with the likes, but I'll take a glitch with the likes. Gary says, great effect. The head in Alpha. Yeah, it must have been I wonder if it was like a actual cast of Ralph Meeker's face because it was a good Ralph Meeker head. But it was fun to finally see the woman topless in Alpha Incident because obviously, when you watch even if you watch the cut version, obviously you can tell in the dress or the whatever. No, it's not. It's like a nightgown thing that she puts on that there's something there. So it was frustrating to not see what was there for all those years. But it's cool to have the uncut Alpha Incident Blu-ray, and it actually looks really great. So it'd be really nice if someday Vinegar Syndrome could regale us with the Blu-ray of Rana. Yeah, Gary might get me all to himself this week. Yeah, it's just a mystery. I'm seeing 10 thumbs up at this point. It's a mystery. I got to tell you, I think I talked about this a little bit last week, and the new thing where thumbs down aren't visible is a really great feature for us really really small measly channels because it kind of takes the hate away from the haters, doesn't it? So I gotta admit I do kind of like it for that aspect of being a small channel. Because it was always a bummer being a small channel and then getting thumbs down. It's like, come on, man, I'm so small. I'm a small channel as it is. You got to hate on it. Yeah, part of me was like, was it even worth it doing a show this week? And we're kind of learning that it's probably not, but oh well. At least we're here with Gary. How long do you think we can go, just you and me? Are we gonna make it to an hour? This is the problem with holidays. Yeah, I should mention that we're obviously where I am in Minnesota, we're getting into the colder months and video production output is going to slowly decrease and probably end up, yeah, maybe end up stopping or whatever. I guess I could, if anyone saw that Terror Train 1993 VHS thing I did, I guess I could still do videos like that where I just use the microphone and cut together, images and stuff like that. But when it gets really, really cold, my motivation to like get dressed and comb my hair and, do all this and that for videos really, really drops. But I'll do, videos as far into the cold months as possible. Last year I had this cool thing where I just did a bunch of, because it was the Friday the 13th box set. So I just filmed a bunch of that stuff where I could upload one video a week over the winter months. That worked really well. I was going to do that this year, but I was too lazy to film like 12. I guess a person could like film 12 showcasings to go over the winter months and just upload once a week, but we'll see what happens. Oh, looks like Wade showed up. Welcome, Wade. Gary says, I thought other might have shown up. Don't think I'll last an hour. So, oh, okay. So Gary might not be with us for an hour. That's cool. We got Wade now. So Wade says I would normally be at my grandma's for Thanksgiving, but she went to the hospital last night because she apparently wasn't getting enough fluids. She was not drinking enough, so Thanksgiving was canceled. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that. You got to drink enough fluids. It's kind of crazy that had to happen like the day before this lovely holiday. Gary says, hope she's better soon. Yeah, that's kind of crappy that it has to happen right before the quote unquote holiday. Wade says, thanks. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like a hospital is no place to be these days, man. I mean, not because I'm afraid of anything that they say on TV, but it's just not a good strike that. It's just not a great it's just not a good place to be in general, even in 2019 or 18 or 17, especially during the quote unquote holidays. Yeah, for a while there, Wade, we thought it might just be me and Gary were going to go as far long as we could. Wade says she has her shots. My dad forced her to get it even though she didn't want to get it, and you'll understand if I remove that comment because we don't say that word around here. Nothing against you, but we don't say that word. That word's just everywhere. It doesn't need to be here. Yeah, shitty world we're living in. Oh my God. Gary says the health care in the UK is free, but waiting time is crazy. Yeah, I guess that's the downside, but I'd honestly rather wait and have it be free. Wade says my grandma's 91, so she has to get that medicine, even if it may have side effects, it's not our age group being affected by the side effects. It's the younger population and some middle age. Well, different strokes for different folks. Yeah, 91, lived a long life. Thanks for simply saying that medicine. I don't have to delete that comment. Yeah, quite the times we're living in. But on to happier thoughts. Not to whatchamacallit, go along with a holiday, but does anyone have any Thanksgiving favorite movies that they watch this time of year? Mine are Blood Rage and Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Yeah. Wade says he's on you know what, and I believe people should be able to just read his comment. I'm not going to read his comment. He's for, yeah, I'm not even going to say it. Read his comment, but I agree. Way to go. Yeah, I'm seeing 10 thumbs up. Like I say, I think it's some kind of glitch or something, maybe an auto-generated thing, but it makes me look good, so I'll take it. I'm for BS if it benefits me. Yep, pretty slow around here. Yeah, I was thinking about this myself. Wade asks, is Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving any good? I forget it. I know that most people have watched the Christmas and Halloween of Charlie Brown. I'm assuming Thanksgiving special might not be as good. It's interesting because I used to watch that as a kid. I recorded it off TV and would watch it as a kid, and I haven't seen it since I was a kid. All I can remember about it is there's some scene where like Snoopy's making tons and tons of slices of toast and buttering it and stuff. And every time I watched that as a kid, I always wanted to have toast with butter on it. That shows the power of the television. But I would agree. I'd say, most likely the most famous Charlie Brown specials are obviously Christmas and Halloween, and those are the only ones I have on DVD and or Blu-ray. And it'd be interesting. I really should get Thanksgiving to see it again. I'm just surprised that I've never got that on DVD or anything. But I think it was in the '70s because Woodstock's in it. I'm more of a fan of the old '60s stuff, but I really should, have Thanksgiving. I can't remember anything about it. Gary says we have Christmas movies playing over here on TV, mostly American Christmas movies. All right. Yep, Snoopy making toast with butter. Eh. I really should probably make an effort to at least get the DVD of Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. All right, believe it or not, we're almost already 30 minutes into the show. Wade says, I like Jingle All the Way and, of course, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Also, you should really give Ernest Saves Christmas a chance. I probably should. I don't know if I might even have it in like an Ernest double or triple pack, possibly. But I agree. I actually, I can't stand Jingle All the Way, but I'm right with you with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. My dad and I saw that at the second run theater, and That was like, in my opinion, that's the last good um, National Lampoon's Vacation movie. Yeah, not a whole lot in the Thanksgiving movie realm, but that's okay. Blood Harvest, not Blood Harvest, Blood Rage, rather, and Trains, Planes, Automobiles is good enough. Wade says, I have a Laserdisc capture of Ernest Saves Christmas and an HD rip of it. Ernest Saves Christmas was never released on Blu-ray unless it's recently, but I'm pretty sure it never got a Blu-ray release. Huh, that's interesting. Gary says Scrooge and National Lampoon's Vacation are my Christmas movies to watch every year. Oh yeah, I forgot about Scrooge. That's a classic. My dad and I saw that in the theater as well. Yep, and like I say, I showed my mom that last year, and she at the time she thinks that she never had seen it, which I find hard to believe, but maybe her memory isn't as good these days, which is very possible. It's crazy. I'm seeing no one listening, no one here at all, and there's two people. So something happened to the live streaming counters after they made that switch a couple weeks ago. It's frustrating. Yeah, let's not forget Silent Night, Deadly Night parts 1 and 2 and 3 if you really want to laugh. I was surprised actually. I was half expecting cuz like in 2017 and 2018 that was the back-to-back years they put out Deadly Night 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. I was half expecting them to put out 3, in 2019. I was kind of disappointed they didn't. It'd be really fun to have a Bill Moseley commentary, you know. I think there would have been I was really surprised. I think there's enough interest in Deadly Night 3 to put out a Blu-ray of it. How fun would it have been to have a NECA Bill Moseley figure with the character with the bubble brain glass thing on top of his head? Yeah, what's great is there's a plethora of Christmas horror. You've got Silent Night, Bloody Night. You've got Don't Open Till Christmas and To All the Good Night and Christmas Evil, aka Better Watch Out, which is a really great title. And obviously the five Silent Night, Deadly Nights. And then you've got the remake, or it's pathetic. I reviewed it on the channel years ago. I think it's called Silent Night. You've got gosh dang it, I forgot about Black Christmas. Wade says Elves 1989. Huh. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that. It's some kiddie movie or something. Oh, Gary says Don't Open Till Christmas is garbage, but I watched that as well. I agree, that's garbage. Yeah, I can't watch that very often. You're right, it is garbage. I'm pretty sure I reviewed it. So Elves is a cheesy horror film from the 80s. It takes place around Christmas. Huh, interesting. Let me guess, you got it on Laserdisc. No, he doesn't. Damn, he better get on the ball. Oh, Wade says I think it only has a VHS release. Gary Page says Black Christmas, another classic, thumbs up. Yeah, and surprisingly, I thought the first remake from I don't know when the hell it was, sometime in the first decade of the 2000s, the first remake I actually thought was okay, and I've reviewed it on the channel. Obviously, the second remake is a whole nother story. It's not a very okay. Yeah, there's actually, when you really start thinking about it, there's a lot of Christmas horror movies, so almost too many to freaking do every year, unless you start in November. Wade says the full movie of Elves is available on YouTube. I guess no excuse for you to not watch it now. Yeah, that's true. I'll come up with one though. Yeah, the more I think about it, it's possible that I've got this Ernest DVD, like 2 or 3 movie DVD set that might even have Ernest Saves Christmas in it. If it does, I'll actually watch it. Wade says the video quality is kind of bad on YouTube. Might maybe get it from Rare Lust. I don't even know what the hell that is. Let me just take a look at something really quick. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look later, but I was just trying to see if I had that, if I actually have this Ernest collection or if I just think I do. Wade says that's a website with obscure movies. Okay. Huh, never heard of it. Gary says, is Elves the one with Grizzly Adams in it? Wade says C. I think he said yes in Spanish. It is. Wade asks, where are the other 8 people at? If you're referring to the likes, I think it's got to be some glitch that's going on with the likes last week and this week. I don't think there's frickin' 8 people here or 10 people here. Either that people are showing up and liking and leaving, but I think it's more of a glitch possibility than a real people possibility because we never used to get double digit likes before, even with frickin', you know, 5, 6 people here. Like I say, mostly the listening counter is zero. It's zero right now. Like it shows no one here. Wade makes a big goofy face. Yeah, it's a mystery. It's a glitch. It's kind of a bummer to really just see that constant zero for people listening because it makes you wonder. I don't imagine there's 10 people here, and only 2 are brave enough to talk. Oh, okay. So Wade asks if I've seen Jack Frost, the horror movie. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I reviewed both of them and also the Michael Keaton one. But the first one's kind of fun, but the second one I, didn't really like as much. But yeah, I've got the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray of the first one, and I reviewed the movie and Blu-ray of that. Wade says I will check it out. So you've never seen it? Oh, okay. He says he's got the 4:3 DVD of Jack Frost, aka full screen. Okay. Yeah, it's I generally don't watch it every year because there's so many other good ones like Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2, and just so many better ones. Christmas Evil, I like a lot these days. Yeah. I don't know about a 2-hour show this week with, you know, but I suppose we'll see what happens. It'd be nice to get old C-Snap in, make up for last week, but people have lives, damn them. Gary says, I can't believe how bad Don't Open Till Christmas is. I don't think we can make a decent slasher over here. Oh God. Well, didn't the guy who was in it, what didn't he direct it? That's probably the reason. But yeah, I reviewed Don't Open Till Christmas on the channel if anyone listening wants to check it out. I can remember a buddy of mine that I used to know, we laughed at the end when he opens the box. It was just like exploded. But yeah, I might have to agree with you. I don't know if Brits can make a decent slasher. It's kind of a American staple, isn't it? But I think we can mostly blame what is it, Edmund Purdom? I think he directed it. I think we can mostly blame him for that. But it's funny because if anyone's seen, which I hadn't seen until recently, the David Hess movie, To All a Good Night, that's almost kind of has the same feeling about it. I'd rather watch To All a Good Night, though, than Don't Open Till Christmas. But I actually like that title, though, Don't Open Till Christmas. That's a movie you could potentially remake. Use the title and remake it. Maybe completely different movie, but I like the title though for a Christmas horror movie. Wade says the actor Christopher Allport, who played the Sheriff Sam in Jack Frost, died in 2008 from, I don't even know what that is. Avalanches. Oh, avalanches? Like a snow avalanche? Well, that sucks. At least he didn't have to experience post 2019 world. Gary says, yeah, Edmund Purdom, but he left, then came back. So Wade says, yep, he died from avalanches. Wouldn't he just have died from an avalanche? Gary says the film took nearly 2 years to complete. Oh, God. It wasn't worth the wait. Wade says, look up the cause of death online. It's just weird he died from snow since he fought a killer snowman in a movie. Yeah, what a crock. Makes you wonder. They said he died from 3 avalanches. Yeah, this is sounding a little suspicious. The third one's the charm. Oh my God. Oh, that first one was tough. Oh, that second one nearly got me. Oh no, here comes the third one. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, that reminds me. Have any of us seen the movie Avalanche from the 70s? I recently discovered it a couple years ago and I've reviewed the movie in Blu-ray, and that one's fun, I think. It's got what's his name in it and what's her name in it. That one's kind of fun. Avalanche. It's like the late 70s. They're capitalizing on the disaster flick genre. Wade says, who knows how accurate the website information is? Maybe the website information is incorrect. Yeah, you never believe the media, I always say. I'd say his cause of death seems a little fishy. Wade says he was also in that Mad Men show. I never seen that show before. He must be looking him up online. Gary says, seen years ago on TV, the movie Avalanche. He's crying tears of happiness, of laughter. Yeah, I think I didn't see it until like a couple years ago. I saw it on Prime and I liked it enough to buy the I want to say Kino Lorber Blu-ray release of it. So I enjoy it. It's cheesy 70s disaster movie fun, and I actually like that one guy who's in it. He's from Black Hole. I can't think of his name right now, but that guy's in it. There's actually some boobies in Avalanche, and I think it's rated PG. The good old days, the 70s, man. Got some boobies in a PG movie. So Wade says, "What is the creepiest or scariest Christmas horror movie? Would that be the original Black Christmas? I think the remake from '06 had some creepy parts in it. Yeah, I like the first remake of Black Christmas as well. Let me think here. I suppose if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, maybe the original Black Christmas could be the creepiest, just because of the simplicity of just the creepy voice, and the voice is so creepy. Um, I mean, everything else is kind of absurd, like Christmas Evil, Silent Night, Deadly Night, um, Don't Open Till Christmas, and To All a Good Night, and those are kind of absurd. I actually, believe it or not, like Silent Night, Bloody Night is actually kind of creepy. So I'd say Silent Night, Bloody Night, and like you say, Black Christmas might be the actual, like, quote unquote scariest, creepiest ones that in my opinion. So what's cool about Silent Night, Bloody Night is I think I can't remember if that's rated R. It might not even be rated. No, it must be for that axe murder thing. But that one has a kind of a low key creepiness. That killer who whispers on the phone and stuff. And the music is really great in Silent Night, Bloody Night, in my opinion. But that's my input. Wade says the original Black Christmas also touched on some political issues. We don't have to talk about it if you think it could get your channel in trouble. Well, what I don't I can't think of what political issues, but we probably won't talk about it anyway. That would be more of the second remake. But yeah, I don't know what political issues the first one did, but I don't think we'll talk about it here. This isn't a huge political fanatics channel after all. Looks like Matt's in the house. He says, yo, he just woke up. In his time, it's like almost 2 o'clock. Yeah, we're struggling to get people from the US to show up to the show this week because of the blessed holiday. I was almost thinking I wasn't even going to last past 30 minutes. Welcome, Matt. Any big holiday plans in the shed? Wade says the original Black Christmas had a man that did not want his girlfriend to have an abortion. Yeah. And the comment showed up. Okay. Yeah, I guess that can kind of be political. Matt just woke up, everyone. Welcome, Matt. Get it? Welcome, Matt. Oh my god. I gotta tell you, I don't really like how the new streaming things work because I'm seeing a 0 listeners right now. I really kinda liked it better and having an idea who was here. I'm seeing a 0. Gary says, "Have you seen All Through the House or A Christmas Horror Story?" No, I haven't heard of them. Wade says, "Hey Matt, hey Gary." Wade's being goofy. Yeah, 3 listeners and I'm seeing 0 on the counter. I don't like that. It makes me feel like no one cares about the show. Matt says his brother and his kids are coming over. Oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Matt doesn't like Thanksgiving. Right on. Are you going to be in the shed when they're in the house? Do you like your brother or their kids? Or are you a good uncle? I think so. Matt says I might. I think it means he might stay in the shed. For anyone who doesn't know, well, I don't think it's my business to divulge your information. Oh, he said his kids are young. Well, yeah, that can be annoying. Are we talking like 5 and under or what? Wade says we didn't have Thanksgiving this year, Matt, because my grandma was in the hospital last night. Apparently, my grandma wasn't drinking enough fluids. You missed this earlier. Yeah, you gotta drink them fluids. Oh, Matt says under 5. Yeah, that's stay away from time. Maybe like a hello and a goodbye or something. Wade says just to get Matt caught up. No, that makes sense. Wade's grandma's in the hospital just in time for the blessed holiday. See, now I'm seeing a 1 for people listening. It's just there's 3 people here and I'm seeing a 1. What a rip. It'd be funny if Matt went in to the house and all stealth like and recorded Thanksgiving and put it on his channel. Could record the arguments. Wade says she might be at home now, but she is having all types of issues. She keeps forgetting who my dad and daughters are. Her brain is going, yeah, same with Gary's mom. Wade says, I think my dad said it's Alzheimer's. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 91 ain't a spring chicken. That's something. My mom's parents, man, they were really sharp. They lived into their mid 90s and they were really sharp like until the last days. It was amazing. I sure as hell don't want to live till 90. I'll tell you that right now. But all of the food and shit that I grew up on and that I continue to eat and drink, I don't think I'll have to worry about it, which is good. Maybe, well, I don't even know if I want to make it to 60 anymore with the way the world's going, but Matt says it would be a very boring video. Okay, well, forget it. Yeah, part of me was like, do I even need to do a show on this holiday? But for I can't make it next week, so I figured taking 2 weeks off in a row would be way too much for all 3 of us who like the show. Wade says my grandma was a heavy smoker until she quit in her 60s or 70s. She is lucky she has lived this long. It's always a risk smoking. That is surprising. Well, hell, Bill Rebane is a chronic smoker who, like, I think the only time he's not smoking is when he's asleep, but even when he's asleep, his whole house smells like smoke. So Bill Rebane is like a chain smoker and he's still alive. It's just unbelievable how people, can smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke and just keep living. And then some people who are like health nuts die when they're in their early 60s. It's just like people who care about their health, you know, it's just really crazy. Like if you're gonna die, you're gonna, and if you're not gonna, you're not gonna, regardless of what you do, it seems like. Well, it's already nearly 5 minutes or 6 or 4 minutes away from an hour into the show already. We'll see. We'll try our best to go the normal 2 hours this week here. Some, we've got like 3 participants, so that helps. Yeah. Matt says the key is not to care, and I'm assuming he's talking about your health. That's kind of how I feel. Like it seems like the people who are really, really health conscious are the ones who get all these problems, and the people who don't care are the people that live longer. Shit, maybe then we have to care if we don't want to live too long. But it's almost like maybe being such a health freak, maybe you know how like you can just like the mind's a powerful thing. If you just worry about all these health ailments, just simply thinking about it can possibly make some of them manifest physically. So I think if someone doesn't give a shit, it seems like the people who don't give a shit about their health do last longer, because my dad's older brother didn't give a shit about his health and he outlived my dad, and my dad cared about his health and he died first. Can you believe that my dad's mom outlived both of her sons? Insane. Wade says Jim Varney, the actor that played Ernest, died when he was in 50 from lung cancer because he was a big smoker. Gary says, is tomorrow a holiday? Today's a holiday in the US of fucking A. It's it's Thanksgiving. Wade says, today is a holiday in America. Gary, today is Thanksgiving. He has this corny smile. That's awesome. Wade says, John McCain's mom outlived him. Oh, good. Wade says she might even be alive still and she's very old. Matt says, yeah, Thanksgiving is so boring with my lame ass family. Gary says, thanks. Yep, it's the time to give it. Matt says, I don't get along with my family much. Maybe talk about their boogeyman liquids they get. Yeah, okay. He's laughing his ass off. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really have family, so I guess that's a good thing, just my mom. So, we're getting along better these days, so I don't have that big extended family, which I'm grateful for. Wade says Roberta Mccain died on October 20th last year, so she has been dead for over a year. Good. Lucky her. Gary says, just keep active and don't stop. My dad retired and fell apart. Yeah, well, my dad was active and that didn't save him. So I guess you're just gonna, when it's your time, it's your time. Like staying active definitely helps, though. All right, everyone. Miraculously, we hit the hour mark of the show, about halfway through. If we can manage to talk for another hour, we'll see. We'll do our best. I like to do at least two. Well, I don't like to go over 2 hours anymore. So I like to do the 2 hours thing if possible every week. Matt says, I used to enjoy Thanksgiving when I lived alone. He'd get Domino's pizza or go to this cheap Vietnamese restaurant that was damn near empty on Thanksgiving, just like that movie Christmas Story. They end up going to a Chinese place. Gary retracted his message. Wade says, I picked up some more laser discs. Would you like to know what I picked up? Yeah, we've got a whole hour for you to list every single one of them off. And once again, where do you get them? Online or at some store? Physically? Okay, the list begins: Terror in Paradise, Child's Play 2, and Ants. Oh, that's a short list. Okay, yeah. So I've got the Child's Play 2 Laserdisc, as some of you may know as I showcased it. That's cool. I don't even know what Terror in Paradise is, and I'm familiar with Ants. Wade says he gets them online because he doesn't have any stores near me that carry them. Okay, what are your favorite places to get them? Do you just do eBay or? Oh yeah, you do eBay. You talked in the spring about like you won something and like it wasn't showing up. Did that ever show up? I sure hope so. He says eBay and Laserdisc database. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Matt's going there. He says, what are we supposed to be thankful living in this world now for? I guess that's a good question. Remaining freedom to choose between Coke and Pepsi. Wade says, oh yeah, demonic toys eventually showed up. Oh, you got the laser disc of that? That's really cool. Yeah, that's probably going to have the best sound you're ever going to find of that movie because their Blu-rays generally fuck up the sound. Demonic toy. I'm kind of actually jealous about that Demonic Toys Laserdisc. That's kind of cool. I've got the Dollman versus Demonic Toys Laserdisc. I'm glad it showed up, by the way. Yeah, those full moon movies in the 90s on Laserdisc, they sound really good. Yeah, Matt says also staying away from the old doctors will extend your life as well. Didn't really work with my dad, but it's a good practice to do anyway. Gary says you don't have any rights in China. Yeah. So they tell him what pop to choose, what pop to drink there. So we should be thankful for our freedom to choose between Coke and Pepsi. Yeah, Matt brings up a good point. What rights does anyone in the world have now? Wade, I love the multiple conversations. Wade says the picture quality on, I'm assuming, Demonic Toys is beautiful too. It also helps that I have a high-end Laserdisc player in my Panasonic LX-900. I don't even revision 1995. I specifically mention the revision because there's issues with 92 and 93. Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, come to think of it, the image quality was good on them full moon laserdiscs as well. Yeah, Matt brings up good points to back up his statement. Yep. Points you can read the comments if you want to know what he's talking about. Wade says apparently the 92 and 93 of LX-900 can sometimes have black and white issues. Ugh. And then Matt says, this is only the beginning of the nightmare. Yeah, that's true. I worry about that. And if you want to read more of what he says, read it. Gary says, at least your organs aren't stolen from you like in America or Europe. We're getting all dark and depressed, but in the chat, but can't blame them. Check out the chat replay if you want to see it. Wade says I have half the Puppet Master movie on laser. Oh yeah, that's right. Laserdisc. I believe I said this in the past on here. I got a Laserdisc that only has one side of the movie printed, pressed on it. Yeah, you have said that. Leave it to Full Moon, but I think they had their Laserdisc made by Pioneer or something, so it's really not, maybe it's not Full Moon's fault. Yeah, I've never actually had that happen. Makes you almost wonder if it's worth money. Wade says it's the ending half, which I believe has all the kills in it. Yeah, what a bummer. Matt says not stolen yet. Oh, okay. They got to ease into jacking our organs. Well, they don't care about our organs. They're just going to kill us. Oh, yeah. Matt brings up another point, which I'm not going to say out loud. Yep, that's next. Ooh. Ooh. Yep, that's the next step. Wade says that's the good part of the movie. It has on the other. Wait, that's the good part of the movie. It has on that half of the disc. The story part before all the kills happen is the part that's missing. Oh, okay. So you've got the good half, the last half. Okay, good. Matt says it went from, well, I think okay. You can read it if you want to see what Matt says. Yeah, that's true though. I agree. It has no age, does it? Love is love. Summerhill's here for the first time of the season. Welcome, Summerhill. Mr. Grizzly Adams over there. He's got quite the beard going there, Summerhill. What's your plan for that? Just see how big it'll get? Which is fine. Looks pretty masculine. Oh, Matt says creepy stuff I dare not utter. Ugh. Gary asks if the Friday the 13th computer game is any good. You mean the recent one? Yeah, I never got that because I guess it's online only and I don't like playing, I just want a normal story mode. So I never got well, I also don't have you know, a console new enough to play the most recent Friday the 13th game, but that's okay. It's apparently it's online only anyway, and I'm not into that because when people stop playing it, then I can't play it anymore. Oh, wow. Give me a chance to catch up with the comments here. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm not, I don't mean to not read your stuff, Matt, but it's just so iffy that I'm just afraid. But I agree. If you want to know what Matt says, read the chat replay. That's true. Wade Wilson says, I recently got glasses with new frame and I have to wait 2 weeks until they build my glasses. Not used to this because LensCrafter used to make the glasses on the same day. It's insane he has to wait. What a bummer. Yeah, Matt writes more of stuff I agree with. Read it, the chat replay if you want to see what it is. Gary Page says, yeah, I don't even know what he's saying yeah to. Oh, okay. He asked if the computer. Yeah, I don't know anything about the recent Friday the 13th game because I'm not a online game player. Kind of a bummer that by the time that came out, I don't know. I didn't have. Yeah, it's okay. I like the movies. So Summerhill says I have escaped the city and now live in the woods. Lucky. I think he's joking, but yeah, that would be fun. Maybe not in the winter so much, but Matt says to Summerhill, no matter where you go to, they will come for us all. That sounds like a good tagline for an a I don't know, a scary movie. Wade says I enjoyed Friday the 13th, the game for PC. It's enjoyable, and I think you all would like it. However, I don't think it has a lasting appeal. Yeah, I would have rather they just made some kind of a normal, or at least in addition to the online play, just some kind of normal story thing. Matt says, but yes, I'm very thankful, guys. Good. Thankful, comrades. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Matt says, I know you can't read it on YouTube, laughing his ass off. Matt says, I should have a shed Thanksgiving. He says, maybe I'll go get an Italian sub / hoagie or something to eat. Yeah. Matt says he recently got EBT since he's not working for a while. Oh my God. I can't buy hot foods with EBT. So I might have to go get some cold sandwich to celebrate my shed Thanksgiving. Oh my God. Yeah, I guess that's an option. What's up with Summerhill? Anything fun up with Summerhill? I take it you can't get the videos off the phone because otherwise, instead of getting a camera, you'd probably just get the videos off the phone and keep using the phone. Any idea what you're going to do for a video camera, or just use the computer and the microphone for a while? Yeah, a shed Thanksgiving. You could make a documentary and put it on your channel. Wade says, did any of you ever play Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street on NES? Both of those games are enjoyable. I can't believe there's people that talk negatively about them. Fourth, fourth the time. Oh, for the time, pretty good. Yeah, I had both of them. I actually liked Nightmare on Elm Street more than Friday the 13th. I was just Jason would always just kill me dead every time he popped up. It was so frustrating how it just seemed like you couldn't kill Jason for shit. But that's when I was, that game came out when I was 12. It's so freaking, how I talk about in my videos so often that a lot of things just seem to come out right when I just after I got interested in them. Like they started making Halloween movies right around the time I got into Halloween, and Friday the 13th game came out like right after I got into Friday the 13th. So I got the game, in 1989. And playing it as a kid, it didn't blow my ass off, but it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool how, the 8-bit music tried to do like some of the music stabs, like the jun dun dun dun. But I think it was 91 that I actually got Nightmare on Elm Street NES game, and that one was I thought it was just more enjoyable to play, in my opinion. And how cool was it that you could potentially have up to 4 simultaneous players? We never did because I never had well, I didn't really know many people anyway, but I didn't have the thing to adapt the adapter to make the 4 players anyway. But it's not like I ever had 3 people over. Matt says, "You think I can throw a pity party and be like, my dude, it's Thanksgiving and I'm poor. Can you just put the sandwich as cold in your system even though it's hot?" Oh, there you go. Yeah, just mark this down as cold. Matt says, "It's Thanksgiving, my man, and all I got is EBT, man." He's laughing his ass off. Gary says, "I had a Friday the 13th game on the Commodore 64, but I don't think you guys know what 64 is." Well, I'm familiar with Commodore 64. Is that a joke? I don't get it. Summerhill says, "Yeah, I will be getting a new camera soon, but the computer camera works for now. Not much else is new, just dreading winter. Oh my God, tell me about it. It's like 20 something where I am right now." Oh God. Wade says, "I know what the Commodore 64 is. I used to play it with my cousin. He got a Commodore 64 back in the early 2000s when I was living at my grandma's. I would play it and PS1 with him." Gary says, "Thanks, Wade. I don't feel so old now." Wade says, "I have the 4-player adapter and 4 controllers. I have not been able to get anyone to play with me. Sadly, it'd be awesome to try that game out with 4 people." Yeah, I think he's talking about Nightmare on Elm Street NES. That would be something, wouldn't it? Wade says, "Welcome, Summerhill." Matt says, "Oh, on that new Friday the 13th game was censoring people for saying mean, quote unquote, mean things, but kids playing a game of a psychopath murdering people is okay, is a-okay." Yeah, funny. Don't say mean things on the murder game. Yep, them bad words are more important than anything else. Wade says, "Nice, we got a full chat now, unless you have to read it." I added that part. But yeah, I guess it is. It's funny how when the show starts, I'm like, damn it, there's no one to chat. And then later on, you're like, damn it, there's too many people talking. I'm just kidding. I appreciate all the comments. Matt says, "And people wonder why I hope this world collapses." Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Matt says NES games had a certain charm to them. I think the music was a big part of it for me. I did it's just I'm just thinking of the music in Friday the 13th NES game and just it's just yeah, I think the limitations with those games actually did make them kind of cool. That's what I don't really like about current video games is they look so real. It's like it almost takes away from the fun of them because I mean, I'm the video game from the video game generation of Pong and Pac-Man and shit. And I think to a certain extent, that's for me being from the, beginning of video games generation. That was a big part of what made video games fun was the abstract aspect to them and the limitations they had in what they could show and the sound, you know. And I actually still likes, the old games like Pac-Man and stuff and just love the goofy sounds and just just the video game sound effects. So Matt brings up a good point. They do have a charm, and I'd even say video games that came before them and stuff like that. Early 80s video games and stuff, just 80s video games in general. Matt says the music in NES games and even the art design and the way graphics looked. Yeah, he must have said that before I was getting into it. Just really cool in his opinion. Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's just like some of the one game that we really liked in the late '80s on NES was Jackal, and some Asian chick did this genius rendition of the Jackal music from the game on piano, and she just gets it just down perfectly. And a lot of them, the music and stuff that they wrote for them NES games is just beyond classic, and freaking Contra and just Jackal and yeah, fun. I'm probably I don't think I'm that far behind. Wade says, I think developers did a great job with many NES games, including games such as Punch Out, Zelda, Metroid. I've never heard of River City Ransom, and so many great games for that console. Yeah, it was a classic era. Wade says River City Ransom is Streets of Rage. Oh, before Streets of Rage existed. Matt says in games of the past were a lot more social things. They were more designed for you to bring friends over and play together. Yeah, now it's this online hermit bullshit as we're all hermiting online. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Being over at someone's house physical, I'd go over and play Jackal at a friend's house, and a friend would come over and play Contra and Jackal at my house, and RC Pro Am. Anyone remember RC Pro Am? Yeah, Matt's got some points, video game points. Wade says, or that one and SN Super Nintendo beat 'em up. I can't think of the name at the moment. I'm sure someone knows the name of that popular NES beat 'em up game that's similar to Streets of Rage. Yeah, and I was never a big fan of the beat 'em up games, so maybe someone else knows. Oh, Wade says he thinks he's thinking of Final Fight. Matt says, I really do like that N64 PS1 era, though. Yeah, I hear you. For me, it kind of ended with PS2. Like, I'm still playing PS2 with my mom when I go see my mom, and it's still like just all about PS2 for me. And I never, that's the last PlayStation I ever got. Matt said, had a lot of creative games, but 3D as well. Graphics were just good enough. Yeah, I hear you. I remember that being a big deal when PS, 60 N64 and PS1 is just like, whoa, games to another level. But it was kind of, in my opinion, the beginning of the end. But I agree, like the PS1 N64 era was like a perfect combination of old and new. And now it's just the stuff looks too real. It doesn't interest me. Gary says, yeah, I've got a plug and play Bandy with Pac-Man, um, Galaxin, Dig Dug. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Those are the things I grew up with. We used to go bowling, and at the bowling alley, they had games like Dig Dug and all the early '80s frickin' and mid '80s, of course, arcade games and stuff. Wade says Contra and Heavy Metal are both great NES games too. Ever play those, Nate? Yeah, I never played Heavy Metal, but I was playing Contra in the late '80s with my buddies and stuff. Contra is just obviously beyond classic. Oh, Wade meant Heavy Barrel. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Heavy Barrel. but definitely Contra. Anyone familiar with Jackal? That's where you can play up to 2 players simultaneous, and you're in the jeeps. That was classic too. The music in that is so fun. Summerhill says, I grew up with the original PlayStation games like Road Rash, Alien Trilogy, and the original Medal of Honor. Isn't it something? Yeah, what you grew up with is so special. I remember when I got PS1, I got like a demo disc of Siphon Filter. Anyone play Siphon Filter? I kind of like Siphon Filter. I've only played the first one, but that was fun for me in the time. And of course, Grand Tour. How do you pronounce it? Turismo or Turismo? I don't know how you pronounce it. Matt says that was another thing I was reading. Oh, he's talking about Soviet Union again. I think I can read this. That was another thing I was reading in Soviet Union. They used to just listen to the same music and watch same movies over and over because nothing good or new would come out there. It's kind of like what I've been doing for the last 20 years. I've been in my own Soviet Union world. Matt says there's no reason new movies and games can't really be good, but they aren't for quote unquote reasons we can't go into without being banned. Yeah, exactly. There's quote unquote reasons why things are going to shit. Summerhill says we have an 80s themed arcade in my town. It's crazy. Has an original, I think you've mentioned this before, Terminator 2, Judgment Day cabinet, Narc, Rampage, and tons of Atari. I'll do a video of it sometime. Yeah, I think you said that in the spring. I don't see no video yet. No, but that's really cool. And whenever it's convenient for you, we'd love to see a video of that. Yeah, I'm kind of jealous of that. Yeah, the Rampage, that was a big one too in the 80s. Thanks in advance for the video. Wade says Siphon Filter is an awesome game. I wish they would remake it with better graphics, since I'm sure the graphics probably are an eyesore nowadays. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did at least one sequel, but I got Siphon filtered out enough with the first one I never bothered, but they made at least another one. But I don't remember if the second one was on PS1 or if it was on PS2. Wade says, I remember being impressed by Tomb Raider on PS1 when I was a kid. I bet those 3D graphics have aged poorly. Oh, definitely. I can remember when, my buddy had PS1 before I did, and I can remember being like, holy crap. Really impressed when I saw Tomb Raider. Kind of frustrating as a male that's into women, like to play a character that's, I don't know, it's a frustrating game. We'll leave it at that. Or it could be a frustrating game just because, yeah, okay. But I hear you. When I first saw Tomb Raider on PS1, I was like, wow. I can remember watching my buddy play it, and there was this one really creepy part where she was like diving underwater, and she got attacked by some big eel or something. So obviously she can only hold her breath for so long. So you have that, you got to deal with. And plus, what the hell is going to attack you underwater? Oh, it was scary. Matt says something that's actually very hopeful. He says he thinks more and more 80s/90s arcade/bars and just anything will pop up. Yeah, I know. It's like the movie which I love, Tron, is really a good it really recorded that era, put it on film very beautifully, early 80s arcades and stuff. Yeah, that would be really cool if that happened. It really would. Of course, is there going to be a certain requirement you're going to need to meet to go in them is the question. but that would be really cool. It could be, 80s themed Tron-esque arcades. Matt says, because people will do anything to escape this modern nightmare. I'll just say modern nightmare world. That's true. Well, haven't you heard? That's where the VR and is coming in. People are going to live online like Ready Player One. I knew when that movie came out that that was just them showing us where they wanted to take humanity. People lived in, living in these freaking trailers stacked on top of each other in squalor and spending their whole days in VR. It's scary. That's the plan they have. Ugh. Summerhill says I'm a procrastinator. Yeah, that's cool. We all can be. We understand. It's easier not to do things, isn't it? Than to do things. The time we have to wait for that video, it just makes it all the more. At least we've got something to look forward to. Matt says anything to get a taste of the past. Hell, maybe even serve pizza with 90s looking pizza box, have cans of Coke with old Coke design, etc. Oh yeah, we're getting a little what are we doing? We're there's a word for this. I can't can't think of it off the pardon us if we're shit, I can't think of the word. It bugs me. What's that word when you oh well, talk about the past. Oh, there you go. Matt has another positive hope for the future. Oh, they will be underground and no requirements necessary. Probably these places will be made, yeah, illegal like underground raves, but people will find a way to go. Yeah, it'll be like the old speakeasies after prohibition. Video game there'll be play easies. Oh god. Wade says I play Phantasy Star Online for the Sega Dreamcast with a small community online to get away from the real world. The real world is filled with scummy people. Oh yeah, Matt. Thank you very much, Matt. Nostalgia. Oh, I think the word I was thinking, that's true, but I think the word I was thinking of reminiscing, but it can combine both words. We're reminiscing about nostalgia. There you go. Oh, I think, actually come to think of it, I think the word I was thinking of was nostalgic. So you hit the nail on the head. We're being nostalgic and reminiscing about nostalgia as we're being nostalgic. Yeah, that's true, Matt. Duh. Yep. I hear you. All right, everyone. We've got, I don't know, 27 minutes of show left. I think we're going to actually be able to achieve our 2-hour weekly running time. So thanks again. As always, well, just like last week, it was kind of a iffy start with I didn't know if it was just going to be me and Gary, but I appreciate it as always, everyone who showed up and to show up and participate in chat. That'd be nice. I think it's putting a little too much faith in humanity, but Matt says I think people will start hating anything quote unquote modern so much they might just bash a PS5 if they saw one or smash a new iPhone because it'll remind them of the hell we're living in. Yeah, I mean it's possible, but I think most people actually I don't know. Yeah, it's a hopeful thought. Wade says, "Are you shocked that you were able to hit the runtime today? You were expecting less people here because of Thanksgiving." Yeah, like the first just like last week, I don't remember what it was, the first 15 or 20 minutes, it was just me and Gary, which was fine, but we didn't know if we were gonna yeah, at the time, I didn't know if if it was just gonna be me and Gary, we were probably just gonna go an hour and then stop, but we didn't really know what was gonna happen when the show started. Yeah, I figured, the holiday might, you know, I mean, make people but, people like Matt and I, not holiday participants. So, and of course, Wade has the unfortunate situation with grandma, which I guess is allowing him to be here. So, just kind of like last week, we were a little afraid of the show this week. That damn holiday. Gary Page says he can't afford an iPhone. Well, that makes sense. That's understandable. Summerhill says, "Did anybody notice that they removed the ability to dislike most YouTube videos now?" I don't think it's the ability to dislike them, but the counter that shows the dislikes is no longer visible. You can still dislike, but I don't understand why, because yeah, yes, we talked about that last week, and I gotta admit, being a small fledgling channel, I kinda it's nice to kind of you know, because sometimes you get a lot of unnecessary, undeserved hate, and I do kind of appreciate that from a small channel's perspective, is it kind of silences the haters. But yeah, we saw that. Well, we know the reason, the actual reason they did it in this this current world we're living in. We can't really talk about it though on the show, which is the problem. But so as a whole, I think it's a bad thing. But for, as I said, smaller channels like myself, it's kind of a good thing. So Matt says to Summer Hill's question, "Yep," and he adds, "I only like Halloween. I'm not sure what that means." Wade says, "I do not like that they removed the dislikes. I see it as a form of censorship." Well, that's what it is, that the media loves because they will promote. Yeah, I can't read any more of it. They promote, well, I'll just say they promote bullshit without the thumb down to warn others. Yeah, well, that's basically the reason. Yeah, I don't know if I would want to go into it, but that's the reason they did it. Yeah, Wade says a lot of people well, we'll just say other people think for them. We are living in sad times. Yeah, Matt brings up a point, but I don't think it's as effective as, being able to see the dislikes. He says, well, it'll still be obvious if they read the comments and see how little likes they get compared to the views. Yeah, not as obvious, but I guess I can see what you mean. And Matt agrees. He says, "Yeah, for us small channels, it's a good thing because, it's hard enough being a small channel without all these thumbs downs." Summerhill says, "Yeah, I noticed most videos on news channels had massive dislike to like ratios. That's exactly why they got rid of the dislike counter." Oh my god. Yeah, well, about 20 minutes of show left. As always, thanks everyone for showing up. And if, in case you didn't hear it earlier, I've got, just so happens I had something I have to do next Thursday, so there won't be a live show next Thursday. But I'm gonna see, no promises, but I'm gonna see if we can possibly, within the next 4 days, manage to do a Nate and Beth show for everyone to kind of make up for no show next Thursday. No promises. Um, as we all know, holidays can turn a shitty year into an even shittier year. Um, so I'm not going to make any promises, but we'll see what happens. So no, I'll make a video probably about it on Monday, letting people know that there'll be no show on December 2nd, but I should be back the following Thursday for everyone. I'm providing a public service. Yes, Matt. I went there to the White House channel just before just before that happened. Coincidentally, yes, that's basically why they removed it. I did see how many the like to dislike ratio of the White House channel. Yeah, and then the White House channel disables comments. Yeah. The White House is a private company. Yeah, we need more people to see things for what they are, that's for sure. Wade says something that I feel like I can't say as well, but I agree. Read the comment replay if you want to read it. Yep, we got some smart listeners on Huge Movie Fanatics Radio, that's for sure. I love how the media tries to call out the negatives in the world, but at the same time, they're creating the negatives in the world. It's so fucking backwards, but welcome to 1984. Ignorance is strength. Gary says a very, very true statement, and it's what I practice. He says, just stay away from mainstream media and keep watching your movie collection. Exactly. I'm way ahead of you. That's a great, great comment for this week. Yeah. Read the chat replay to read what Matt says. Yeah. He says, don't read it, Nate. Walking on a thin line. I I hear you. Oh, okay. Wade read it. All right. That's cool. Matt gave me a huge don't read long comment, Nate. Danger, danger. Nate Robinson. Wade read it. Matt says incoming next comment you shouldn't read. I don't know if that's a joke. Probably he's probably serious. I don't think they can punish me for comments people leave in the chat. I think they just delete comments, but yeah, I have been mindful of that. Getting close to 15 minutes of show left. Once again, yeah, I don't think Summerhill's in Canada. If no one knows, I don't know if they got things. If Summerhill's still with us, do you have Thanksgiving in Canada? I wouldn't think so. Are you gonna ask Wade when he's read it? Well, Wade, there's definitely a lot of nuts people on, but I think most. I don't. I think it's like I don't know AI that censors comments more than people listening, but Yeah. Boy, it's gonna come to a time where I'm not gonna be able to read anything Matt says. Summerhill says, "We do have Thanksgiving, but it's in October." Okay. And Summerhill gave us 3 little images of turkeys. Let's hope C-Snap doesn't show up 5 minutes before the end of the show. I always feel bad when that happens, but these days I can't really do a show any more than 2 hours. That's why we used to go 3, 4 hours at the beginning of the year because people would show up, 2 hours in, and it's just like, "Oh, I don't wanna stop because, someone just showed up." But I try to put out there the start time and let people know that generally, well, they haven't been the shows haven't gone over 2 hours since, I don't know, March or April, so that's a kind of a thing of the past, but 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 yeah. So just under 15 minutes of show left, everyone. This was it's so funny how a show can start worrisome and it can end really, really good. So I think this turned out pretty good this week. Better, I think the turnout was better than I thought. It seemed like we were doomed at the beginning, like, oh God, everyone's stuffing their face because there's a word on the calendar. Well, that's true. I think a lot of us here are very similar minded, and Matt says we're a bunch of loners here, Nate. What Thanksgiving do we have? Yeah. Nice to see Summerhill here for the first time and for the very first fall season of the radio show. I guess apparently he was unaware that that the radio show was back on. Not that you're required to show up every week, of course. Matt says I got a whole huge metal. Wait, I got a whole huge metal and quote family 100 yards behind my shed that I could be hanging with right now, but am I? No. Matt doesn't consider his family family. They might share some stupid genetic traits, but they sure don't treat me like family. Oh, he meant whole huge meal. Yeah, that's isn't that a bummer? Like how people can become like black sheep, like in their own family. It's a water burp. It's a bummer, but yeah, like back in the 80s before my folks got divorced and stuff, like we used to do like quote unquote, whatever family summer get-togethers, and I don't know, I was like inside I was just like, God, this feels so like forced and fake, and it's like I don't really care about all these people, and it just feels like it's like a big, just a Hallmark freaking episode of it just seemed fake to me. And like the family reunions, one of my this is kind of a bummer. One of my big regrets about like not being a big one for family reunions is apparently, I guess it's through marriage or something like that. Apparently, through marriage, I'm related to Tippi Hedren, and of course, that's the woman who was in the Alfred Hitchcock movie The Birds. And apparently, she's been at some, bigger size, quote unquote, family reunions in Minnesota. So that's one of the things I've kind of, regretful about, like not being into the family reunions. It would have been cool to have met Tippi Hedren, but she's probably just like a whatever, movie star type anyway. But that's my one regret I have to like skipping all the family reunions. Oh, Matt says, I admire that you had a good relationship, at least with your dad. I never liked either of my parents. That's a bummer. Yeah, and I kind of got mended some bridges with my mom because I figured, you know what? I mean, I don't want to have this be sour and regret it afterwards. So, kind of mended situation with my mom and stuff. So, I think it's for the best. I'm sorry to hear about that crappy relationship with your parents. My dad was such a good guy. He was just an older version of me. Not to say that I'm some great guy, but yeah, I was really lucky to have a good relationship with my dad. Gary says, "Gotta go. See you on the next one. Happy holiday. Thumbs up." I don't know if Gary's still here, but if so, thanks for showing up. Gary was with us for almost the whole 2 hours, so that was cool. He's a veteran of the show or whatever you want to call it. Well, a lot of you guys in the chat are. Matt says he stopped going to family holiday events years ago. The only time in the past few years I'd get caught seeing extended family was because they showed up at my parents' house on Christmas or something. Yeah, I think the last one I went to was in the mid '90s. I was like, God, this just feels like it's like we're here because we're compelled to be here, not because we want to. I've never been a crowd person either. They're just all so phony to me. Matt says I used to always at least show up to family stuff on Christmas, but a few years ago I got pissed at my dad and just left to go back to the house in Philly I was living in. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Matt says, so that was the first Christmas I didn't even bother to fake being around my parents/family for. Oh, great. Well, we're happy to see you, Verisimilitude, but we've got like 7 minutes of show left. He says, "Hey Nate, hey people, are you the one in Australia who was gonna do the Friday the 13th movie?" God, you can't do anything in Australia now, from what I hear. Matt says it was one of the best Christmases I've had in my adult years. Oh, just without family? Yeah, I can imagine that. And Matt's not even joking. He enjoyed it. No, that's yeah, it might be hard for some brainwashed people to understand, but sometimes being alone is better than being with fake asshole people, or all the time it is, in my opinion. Matt says Domino's Pizza was open in Philly on Christmas that year, so I ordered Domino's and then just enjoyed myself. That's both, yeah, it's both tragic and beautiful at the same time. I don't know. What's verisimilitude got to say? Um, should I stay extra 15 minutes for verisimilitude? What do people think? I just feel I think I feel crappy when people show up right at the end. Verisimilitude says, "Yeah, dude, that's me. Yep, things are fucked." Yeah, I imagine you weren't really able to film the movie. Of course, now it's spring there, isn't it? It's just heading towards peak of summer there. Matt says this really joyful Russian immigrant guy delivered it and was very joyful, saying "Merry Christmas." I gave him a good tip, and he was very cheerful, so that was nice. That's really cool. Like that just seems like a scene out of an actual, some kind of a actual decent kind of Christmas movie where you're just spending it by yourself, and you actually have this really cool interaction with the pizza deliverer guy. That's really cool, man. Verisimilitude says he'll get his Friday the 13th movie made someday. Well, that's a good way to think about it. Don't let him fucking bring you down. Matt says, "Yeah, it was like a scene out of Christmas movie now that I think about it." Yeah, like a non-cheesy, actual real heartfelt kind of Christmas movie. Yeah. That's cool. So normally it'd be like 4.5 minutes of show left, but do we stay a little later for verisimilitude, or what's the verdict? I just feel bad bailing right after people show up. I suppose I could stay later on this day and be thankful for people showing up in the chat. I could be stay later on this blessed day of thanks. I'm seeing 5 people listening now, so it takes you 2 hours to get any people listening, and that's generally when I end. I suppose I can go a little later for this blessed holiday um, occasion, and since I'm not going to be here next week. Oh yeah, so not only that interaction with the pizza deliverer being like some Christmas movie, but Matt says the whole thing. Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, yeah, you could do a skipping Christmas movie and, you know, well, I think there already was a movie called that, wasn't there? But yeah, I hear what you're saying. That sounds cool. Matt says skipping Christmas sounds good. I know. I was halfway hoping they were going to do that next year. It's like maybe there is advantages to this shit. Matt says good idea for a Christmas movie though. Well, isn't there a movie called Skipping Christmas? Or was that was that the book that that one movie was based on with Jamie Lee Curtis and the other guy, Tim Allen? Oh, Christmas with the Cranks. I think that was based on the book Skipping Christmas. Of course, they didn't end up skipping it, did they? They ended up doing it, but their intention was noble. Verisimilitude says, Nate, do you have a rotation of movies for Christmas? I mean, I said it earlier in the show that there's almost too many, which is a good thing. There's almost too many Christmas horror movies. So I try to do whatever Christmas horror movies I feel like. Sometimes I do all 5 Silent Night Deadly Nights, but not generally. I'll try to do at least the first 2 and the third one if I'm feeling generous, but usually at least the first 2 Silent Night Deadly Nights, Christmas Evil. I try to do Black Christmas. I've just recently discovered within the last year or two, what's it called? To All a Good Night, David Hess's Christmas horror movie. So I think it's kind of rare that I'm able to do like all of the Christmas horror that I'm aware of. I mostly do Christmas horror. I mean, let's be real here. Matt says I could almost make a movie about my own Christmas that year and spice it up a bit for a movie. Yeah, well, some Playboy playmate accidentally got the wrong apartment number. Ding dong. Oh God. Well, we're approaching 2 hours, but I don't know. I guess I could stay for maybe a little longer since Verisimilitude showed up, and it's a big thankful holiday. And in case Verisimilitude's still here, it's Thanksgiving in North America. It's a holiday. We're down to 3 listeners here, so I don't know. We can try going for 15 more minutes and see if people are thankful for it. Verisimilitude says I might watch all the Silent Night flicks this year. I've never seen 4 and 5. Okay, yeah, be warned now. 4 has like nothing to do with the first 3 movies. It's almost like a movie that I think they just that's like unrelated, and I think they actually just put the name Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 on it just to sell it. Um, so be warned, 4 isn't really that great, but 5 is kind of fun. It's its own storyline as well, but I find 5 to be a little more fun. Well, Wade gives some input. I think he's just kissing ass, but I appreciate it. We love to hear your voice. It's very soothing. The longer, the better. Goofy ass face with tongue hanging out. Summerhill, on the other hand's got to run. Have a great day, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, he says. Bah humbug, back to you. Thanks for showing up. See you next time. Verisimilitude says, yep, happy Thanksgiving, you crazy Yanks. Matt says, we are thankful, Nate. Nate giving us an extended edition show on Thanksgiving. I think you deserve it, everyone. Fuck it. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Silent Night, Deadly Night 1 and 2 are required viewing. And 3 is goofy ass fun. I was just saying earlier that I was surprised that they didn't put out a Blu ray of 3 in 2019. I was kind of hoping for that. So it was kind of a bummer they didn't. But be warned, Silent Night 4 and 5 have nothing to do with the first 3 or any of the characters. But I think 5 is fun. Matt asks, what am I going to eat today? Beth's coming over later, and there's this corporate pizza place that's open 365 days a year. So generally on Thanksgiving and Christmas, we'll get a pizza. So I think Matt can agree agree on that. We'll be getting a takeout pizza. Matt doesn't like turkey, so he used to just get what I wanted to when I wasn't with my parents on Thanksgiving. Yeah, I think we're in the same camp there. Verisimilitude says, Nate, you should check out It's Me, Billy. It's a well made black Christmas movie. It's Me, Billy. So is it like it's kind of like a movie that takes is kind of based off the original Black Christmas then or something? Huh. Thanks for the recommendation. Matt says pizza on Thanksgiving is the best. Yeah, that's for sure. I don't know. It might be better on Christmas. Nah, it's just good any day, isn't it? I got to try to watch it though. Don't want to overdo it. Wade says there's a Black Friday 2021 movie that is a horror movie. Maybe you all can watch that. Huh. Must be on streaming or some crap. One quick sec. Matt says, well, it tastes better on days you aren't supposed to have it, like on Thanksgiving, because you're supposed to have dry ass turkey. I see. So that's Matt's opinion about pizza on Thanksgiving. Wade says Bruce Campbell is in Black Friday 2021. And I love having three conversations at once. Verisimilitude says, um, "It's Me, Billy" is like a sequel. When was "It's Me, Billy" made? When did it come out? Matt says, "My whole childhood, I was always never looking forward to the actual meal because it always, oh, it was bullshit turkey and stuffing." Yeah, because we can't, we can't veer from what culture says we're supposed to be eating on that day, right? Oh God. Verisimilitude says, "I watched Vamp for the first time in October. Really dug it." Yeah, I think the cover art comes to mind when you say that title, but I haven't seen it. Matt says we can't just eat what the fuck we want. Nope. If the calendar says Thanksgiving, you have to eat what they say. Matt says even on a day that is supposed to be about being thankful, thankful for our servitude. Verisimilitude says it was made this year. It's on YouTube. Oh, okay. Oh, Vamp? Oh, I think there's an old 80s movie with that title as well. If you're referring to Vamp being made this year. Verisimilitude says, no, no, it's me, Billy Vamp is 80s. Okay, well, I'm officially confused. Matt says, oh my God, Nate, did you see some of the posts of the nutcases showing pics of empty seats at Thanksgiving because they didn't get special liquid? No, I didn't. It's just, yeah. Yeah, he's right. These people are legitimately actually insane. Right, and they would have been inside a nut house 100 years ago, or even, I'd even say 50 or 40 years ago. But now we just get to deal with them. Yep, they closed all the nut cases and they put them in office as the elected officials. That movie, speaking of Christmas horror movies, that movie, Silent Night, Bloody Night, the one from 72 or 4, I can't remember. But that one actually has a premise like that. It's kind of in the background, but where the city council members are quite, actually former mental cases. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, Matt goes on to say, weaponized, crazy, useful idiots. Correct. C Snaps here. He says, hey guys, hey Nate. Grace Jones in Vamp was great. It's also a great soundtrack. Yeah, I don't know if we're talking if the guy's talking about a different Vamp. I'm really confused. Well, you're lucky, C Snap. We're actually going longer this week because in the U.S. of A-hole, it's Thanksgiving, and we had Verisimilitude show up late, and I just didn't want to bail on Verisimilitude. He's got enough trouble going on down there in Australia as it is. And Wade loves the soothing voice. It's Thanksgiving. I've wanted to give people something to be thankful for, so I'm going longer today. Yep, you're right, Matt. All the nutcases are out on the streets and running for office. Oh, okay, gotcha. The confusion is over now. Verisimilitude says Vamp is from the '80s. It's Me, Billy is from this year. Gotcha. Okay. Matt says, I wonder why. It couldn't be because it was done on purpose. Oh no, in regards to letting, closing the mental houses and letting them all out. I'm surprised they just didn't move them into the for-profit prison system. Matt says you could make a very good argument that it's more important to keep insane people away from society, even more so than most criminals. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, Verisimilitude's got a really good idea, and it's to getting into the US of A whole Thanksgiving spirit. He says he might revisit Blood Rage today. Yeah, I started the show by reading the back of the original Prism VHS box from 1987. Started the show by reading the synopsis on the back. They don't even mention Thanksgiving on the back. It's like a huge plot point. Matt says, I think they do far more damage than even guys stealing a car or some other crime. Yeah, it depends on what the nuts are doing, though. He's setting it straight. He's no Nate. They wanted them on the streets. Verisimilitude says I finally watched The Hunger. It had interesting things in it, but not a great movie. That's another one that I don't think I've seen, but I think I can picture the cover art. C-Snap says, what do you think of the Salem's Lot remake? Oh, yeah, you mentioned this last week right before the show ended. Mr. Barlow will be played by Williams. Yeah, he said this last week. Sadler, Shawshank Redemption / Bill and Ted. I don't know anything about Salem's Lot, new or old, I guess is my answer. I never got around to seeing the original one, unfortunately. Just so many movies, so little time. Yeah, Matt thinks we're in really dangerous times with the nuts being out there, out there spreading their insanity throughout the world. Yeah, he says them doing it online is particularly dangerous. Before they were only stuck to screaming at people locally in the street or people they knew. Now they're spreading it online. Uh-oh. C-Snap's disappointed. He says, oh my God, Nate, you haven't seen 1979 Salem's Lot or Near Dark? No, I haven't. Verisimilitude says, Nate, have you given your thoughts on Halloween Kills yet? I really enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, I mean, if you search Halloween Kills on my channel, you'll see a 30-minute movie review. Yeah, Matt's right on top of it. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight, even though it didn't. She's just sitting there in the hospital, just saying this phrase over and over. And how is she contributing to it dying if she doesn't go out and do? The trailer makes it look like she's gonna go kick ass, and she just sits in the hospital room the whole time. But I think if I had to pick between the 2018 movie and Halloween Kills, I'd rather watch Halloween Kills. But as I state in my review of it, there's things that are annoying about Halloween Kills. I mean, I can either get into it if you want, or you can watch the 30-minute movie review. Verisimilitude says it's been 40 years. What are you referring to? Since Salem's Lot was made, or what? Matt says at least it was very progressive and liberal, referring to Halloween Kills. I don't know what that means. A thought with an asterisk? First Similitude says I liked it over Halloween 2018. Myers taking notes from our boy Voorhees. Oh, you're referring to like the kills and the gore? Yeah. I mean, that's what I liked about Halloween Kills more than the 2018 one was the whole movie was night. Whole movie was Michael wandering around suburbs at night killing, you know. So it was kind of like the 12-year-old's dream for a Halloween movie. So that's why I'd rather watch it compared to 2018 version. So we can agree on that. Just me getting on in years, it's just like, I don't need all that necessarily overdone gore, but that's just me. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that appreciate it. What are people's thoughts on the Blu-ray upcoming Blu-ray having two versions of the movie? Are they going to have more? What are they going to have? What's it going to be unrated with even more gore, or maybe it'll have extended mob scenes? Verisimilitude says it's been 40 years is a Kills reference. Okay, I still don't understand it, but maybe it's because I'm on 2 hours and 17 minutes into the show. My mind turns to mush. I was surprised they didn't film Kills and Ends at the same time. Apparently, they're going to film, I guess, in January, February, they're going to film Halloween Ends. Apparently, from what we're being told anyway, Halloween Kills was the highest grossing Halloween movie to date. So obviously, we're going to get Ends. And then I was just on a walk the other day and I was thinking, yeah, because then Halloween Ends is going to be the highest grossing Halloween movie. Then we'll get Halloween Ends Part 2, Halloween Ends Part 3, Halloween Ends the final chapter. Wade says, I'm not a fan of the old Michael Myers. I would rather pretend that it's still the 90s and Michael was somewhat young. Yeah, I hear you there, but I guess old Michael with the gut works too. Wade says, I guess I'm one of those ageism people. Yep. You're banned from the channel, you ageist. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I can remember being, in the 90s and stuff and, joking about, Jason being, 60, 70 years old because Michael would, yeah, if someone did the math, I mean, Michael would, how old would he be? So if he was 23 and 70, yeah, so add 40 years on to 23. This will be difficult. Hold on. Well, we can go like this. You can go 50, 60. So he'd be in his 60s, mid to late 60s. Yikes. Similitude said, I never cared for Salem's Lot. I love Near Dark. You need to check it out, Nate. Yeah, I mean, unless people send me a DVD or a Blu-ray, I'm probably not gonna check out Near Dark. But I appreciate the recommendation. I mean, I guess I would if it's somewhere. Oh, another thing, if people could point me to where I could stream it for free, I probably would be more apt to checking it out. Wade says Myers has been shot a bunch of times, stabbed and burnt. How's he aging anyways? If all that doesn't kill him, oh, we know the answer to that. It's all movie magic. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's getting kind of ridiculous, especially in Halloween Kills with him just getting shot and shot and shot and shot. But like you say, it's just the movie. I mean, we don't. I think we stopped questioning it with Jason after a while. So we're getting to that era with Michael here, where his overalls are going to be just shreds hanging off his body at some point. Verisimilitude says, don't they mention Halloween 2 that Michael was 21? Yeah, there's some kind of screw up in the credits of the original movie. Um, I think in Halloween 2, he says Michael was 21, but in the credits for Halloween, the original movie, I think it says Michael age 23. That was the guy who was like the face reveal at the end. So like they even screwed it up between their first two Halloween movies, the age. So yeah, he was either 20, he might have been 21, you're right. I think they screwed up the age in the credits of the first movie. Good catch. Wade says in some of the Superman comic books, Superman ages despite the fact that Superman is basically immortal. Well, as we all know, I mean, in the movies, I mean, it is kind of goofy, isn't it? He's still a baby that ends up a teenager and ends up a man. So it's like, so what is, is he just, does he hit a man, the man thing and just stop at that point? Or yeah, that's kind of funny. Wade says, I don't understand how someone can be immortal and age. I don't understand that either. All right. We're thankful for Jose Gomez's contribution, Batman Returns, and the release year of 1992. Thank you very much. Okay, so we hit a lull in chat. I can actually catch my breath. Oh, shit, here we go. Wade says, what about the ridiculousness in the original Superman when he spins the world to turn back time to save Lois? I'm sure this ain't a spoiler because if one of you haven't seen Superman yet, then what the fuck? Oh, I think he says, what the hell? Yeah, right. So he does that to save Lois, but he doesn't do that to save his dad. I guess maybe he was too young to save he didn't think of it when dad died. Yeah, that part's goofy because in theory, anything that happens on Earth that he doesn't like, he can just turn back time to stop it. So that is a goofy part of that movie, definitely. All right. Well, at this point, as we're approaching 2 hours and 30 minutes into the show, I don't think I can go any longer than 3 hours. So, and plus the chat's kind of dying, so we're probably not going to go any longer than 3 hours. Just to let everyone know, as we're approaching 2.5 hours of show. Wade says, I will admit I felt sad when Lois died. I could feel Superman's pain when he screamed. Yeah, that was an effective scene. I know. I don't think they even got a chance to get it on yet at that point in the movie. Yeah, that was definitely an effective scene, and then it was kind of like, whoa. I think just the whoa effect was supposed to just make you not really think about the certain elements of the practicality of him turning back time. It was just supposed to be like a whoa moment. Now we're on to the thanks a lot, Wade. We're on a Superman kick here. Verisimilitude says, I hate it in Superman 2 when he throws the plastic S. I guess I'm not remembering exactly what that is. Well, what I hated as Superman 2 when I was watching it as a kid, just that part where he becomes mortal or, non-super and then he gets beat up by some guy at the diner. I thought it was so stupid. Oh, God. I didn't like that. I can't remember the plastic S necessarily, but that's okay. Wade says all those powers and he failed to save the woman he loved. It was very dramatic. Yeah, that's true. I just hated that aspect of I can't remember why he even wanted to become like non-super for Lois in Superman 2. Like what's the point of that? Is he didn't want to rip her open or something? C-Snap says, "Have you seen Mutant with Wing? Oh, Mutant with Wings Hauser. I thought the title was Mutant with Wings." I love that movie. It's on YouTube. Also, another great soundtrack. I don't think so, but I'll probably take a picture. If things are on YouTube, that's easier. Let me take a picture of the title. So if I'm so inclined, and have a moment. Of course, I did this in past shows and I never end up seeing them, but just in case I actually feel like seeing it, I can. Mutant. No, I haven't. Thanks for the recommendation. So, when you say great soundtrack, are we talking the songs or the score? Versimilitude says Donner cut of Superman 2 all the way. Yeah, I've seen that, and I think I kind of like it as well. There's elements I like about the original just because I grew up with it, but I think Donner Cut is probably superior. Problem with Donner Cut is like I don't know, the quality of some of those scenes that are like, are they screen tests or how I think that's how it worked. Wade says, which cut of Superman 2 is when he turns back time again? I think that's there's not really. I can't remember if there's really multiple versions of the first movie, isn't it? And I don't know. I'm not the biggest Superman guy in the world. I'm not the no. The Donner cut is Superman 2, and I think he turns back time in the first movie. So C Snap says Superman 2 is great when he loses his powers is great, Nate. Oh, to show her that he loved her, but why does he have to become why does he got to do that to show her he loves her? It's like, here, I will go get beat up in the diner to show you I love you. That's cool, to each their own. C-Snap says Superman 3 was great. The evil Superman junkyard scene was the best thing about it. Yeah, I'm not so familiar with Superman 3. So it sounds like the score in Mutant was great. Do we know who wrote it? So I could go, oh, Wade says he turns back time twice. Oh, once in the first movie and another time in the second. One of them in one of the cuts, unless I'm remembering wrong, but could have sworn one of the cuts he turns back time again. Yeah, I don't know. Uh-oh. Matt says, oh, great. My brother and his kids showed up laughing his ass off. I was going to go into the shower, but I don't feel like seeing them now laughing his ass off. Oh, man. Wade says, someone on chat help my brain remember. Verisimilitude says, I revisited Fright Night 2 last week. I hated it as a kid, but this viewing has grown on me a bit. Yeah, I think I can't even remember. I think I've seen the first one, but I know I haven't seen the second one. Is the first one made by the guy who made Child's Play? I for me, I'm not a huge fan of Fright Night, but that's just me and my Yank personality. Wade Wilson is going to do an internet search. Superman 2 cut turns back time because no one in the chat's helping him on Thanksgiving. He wants to see if he's remembering correctly. No one can even help Wade on Thanksgiving. Any thoughts on what happens after the ending of Trains, Planes, and Automobiles? Like, do they move Del Griffith into the one of the many rooms they have in their mansion, or what do they do? Do they help get Del Griffith an apartment, like a studio apartment? What happens after the end of Trains, Planes, and Automobiles? I've always wondered, do they just have dinner and kick him out on the street? C-Snaps helps on Thanksgiving. He says, think turning back time only happens in Superman 1. Now Wade Wilson says, the Richard Donner cut of 2 turns back time, so it's Donner cut it happens in. Oh, Donner cut was released in 06. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's right around the time they put out that new Superman Returns or whatever. C-Snap says, okay. Verisimilitude says, yep. Soups does turn the world back again in Donner cut of 2 because that was the original ending of 2, but they moved it, to the ending of the first movie. I see. Matt says, I went on next door and someone was complaining that someone was running leaf blowers at 8:30 a.m. on Thanksgiving. Yep, not surprised. Yeah, you got to have the yard perfect for the guests. God damn leaf blowers. Gary Page is here again. He says, okay, he's answering my question. No, Del Griffith stayed in the end of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and they all lived happily ever after. Okay, they moved him into a room. Yes, by the way, Gary, we're going, I guess, an hour longer as my Thanksgiving gift to the world. Matt says, we can't have any leaves for our Thanksgiving guests. What would they think if they saw a leaf on the lawn? Death to the natural world. Verisimilitude says, yeah, Tom Holland did Fright Night and Child's Play. Yeah, so I saw the first Fright Night, and it didn't blow my ass away, but that's okay. I'm a dumb yank. Matt says, again, these people would have been locked up inside an insane asylum 50 years ago, but they're out there leaf blowing on Thanksgiving. Yep. I think actually, leaves are actually probably good for the lawn. Like when they, deteriorate and they go into the soil, probably beneficial. You gotta love the leaf business and everyone who got taken by the business of leaf disposal. Wade says in one of the cuts of Superman 2, Lois shoots Clark to find out if he's Superman. So basically, Lois would have killed Clark if he wasn't. I found that kind of dumb. Is that the Donner's cut? Yeah, I have no idea. I remember that. I think I can't remember. That might have been the original theatrical cut. C-Snap says, I tried to buy the actual prop of Del Griffith's trunk, but I got outbid by a comedy club in Canada. God damn. I always regretted not bidding higher. I love that movie. Oh, man. How much did it go for? That sounds, oh my God. I mean, you can't blow your life savings on a Del Griffith trunk. That's fun, though. Did you answer? Who answered my? Yeah. So then, if you love that movie, what's your answer to my question? The end of Planes and Trains. What happens? Do they kick him to the curb after dinner? Do they move him in? Do they help him get an apartment? Do they give him their house and do they go out on the street? What do you think happens after the end of Planes, Trains, Automobiles? C-Snap. Wade says, yes, we all know that Clark looks exactly like Superman with glasses, but we are supposed to not be paying attention to that since the rest of the people in the Superman universe ignores that. Yeah, that's true. Matt says leaves rot and give nutrients to the lawn. Exactly. Like, you know, I've cleaned, leaves off of roofs, and leaves turn into soil. If you leave leaves on roofs long enough, they turn into soil and plants start growing on the roof. I mean, leaves actually turn into soil. So this whole bullshit about leaves are like some kind of toxic waste that will kill your lawn is just pathetic, as we have two or three conversations going on. Matt says they blow the leaves and then they have to pay even more money to put poison pesticides on their lawn because they blew all of their leaves. Yeah, that's probably the racket. I bet if they left the leaves on the lawn, they wouldn't have to pay for the poison pesticides. Yeah, I can't believe people that do that either. Oh, let's put the Chemlon, and they even put it right in the name of the company. Chemlon sounds so fresh and invigorating. Yeah, Matt says the whole leaf removal thing and yard upkeep is a complete scam. It's funny how so many people buy into it. But then again, he says these same people are wearing stuff on their, yeah. Yep. Verisimilitude says he loves planes and trains. I think he stayed at the end too. So they moved him into the house because you gosh darn well know they got like 3 or 4 spare rooms in that house. Just throw all the kids into one room and give Dell the kids' room. So C-Snap says the screen used trunk from Trains and Planes went for $3,000. That seems low to me. He says, I reckon they let him stay, but chucked him out the next day when they got bored of him. Yeah, I mean, he gets pretty annoying pretty quick. So once he probably took a shower in their bathroom, they probably kicked him to the curb. Of course, I'm not gonna say it. Matt says, and it always makes me laugh because don't they realize most places have a thing called snow? So you're worried about a few leaves, but what about the foot of snow on the lawn? Yeah. I'm surprised they actually haven't turned that into a thing. Like, get this snow blower or put this big electric tarp down on your lawn before it snows so you can melt it. I'm sure I'm sure that someone's tried to think of some scam they could do for snow meltage. That is funny. But snow's just water, and water is good for the lawn. Well, guess what leaves are good for, you sack of shit. Verisimilitude says Soup's glasses in the comics actually change the way he looks as Clark. They are special glasses. Oh, really? Are they planet or glasses from Krypton? Or are you just jerking us around? I'm not into comics myself. Matt says, I bet the I love multiple conversations. You can see why my brain ends up being mush. Okay. Matt says, I bet they'll start plowing snow off their lawn soon to save their grass. Yeah, at some point they won't even want to put water on it. They'll drown it, Wade says. Which actor is your favorite Superman, Nate? Christopher Reeve, George Reeves, or Henry Cavill? Yeah, didn't you forget one of them? The guy who was Superman in the Superman Returns? I'm going to go with Christopher Reeves because I'm a child of the 70s and 80s, so it's kind of a no-brainer for my generation. Christopher Reeves. All right, guys, I gotta have to end in 20 minutes, I'm afraid. So they're just warning everyone as we're 2 hours and 40 minutes into the show. C-Snap says the trunk had all of the travel stickers and a faded stencil spray of Del Griffith's shower and curtain ring division. It was a grail prop to own. Yeah, that's why I'm surprised it went for just $3,000. That seems low. Man, I'm sorry about that. Well, would you have paid $3,000 for it? So you regret not paying $3,000 for it? But you never know, though. Maybe the person who ended up with it would have paid even more for it than $3,000, though. Matt says it's like they don't realize grass goes dormant in the winter. Verisimilitude says, "Say it, Nate." I don't know what you want me to say. Verisimilitude says, "Christopher Reeves is my favorite Superman, but I love them all except Kirk Allen from the 50s." Wade says, "Superman Returns is my least favorite Superman. I'd take Superman Quest for Peace over it and might be in the minority saying that." Yeah, I remember seeing Quest for Peace recently, and that's pretty bad. But yeah, I hear you. Verisimilitude says some truth. Quest for Peace is terrible. Yeah, it's a bummer. That's because Canon got hold of it. Not that Canon. See, the thing is, Canon's fun, but it's got to be, you know, their own little world. They can't. Canon Films can't take over something competent, and I don't know. Anyway, it was a disaster. C-Snap definitely would have gone higher. The comedy club that bought it was where John Candy had first started off. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, well, oh well. I mean, at least you saved 3-4 grand. It's just a thing. That's what I say when I lose a bidding or decide not to bid on something. It's just a thing. Just a thing. Well, as we're approaching 15 minutes of show left, thanks for everyone for showing up. As been a while since I went 3 hours. Obviously, we all know my brain is mush, but it's the least I can do on Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for people showing up and stuff. This way, C-Snap got to show up, and Verisimilitude got some words in. Anyone who doesn't know, Verisimilitude is trying to get a Friday the 13th movie off the ground down under, but it's pretty impossible to do anything down under these days if anyone is keeping up with world events. So let's all wish Verisimilitude best of luck on his Friday the 13th movie. From what he said in the spring, he's going to do this Friday the 13th movie and try to have everyone do like North American accents, which is actually kind of fun idea because the Friday the 13th movies take place exclusively in America, unless it's Jason X, then it's on some spaceship. But it'd obviously be to stay in true Friday the 13th, fashion. It'd be weird to have everyone at Crystal Lake or wherever it's going to take place all have Australian accents. C-Snap says, "I saw Superman 4 and Jaws 4 at a double bill when they came out in 87. Can't think of two worse movies." Yeah, oh my God. Can you imagine? Superman 4 and Jaws 4 double feature. That is a good one. Wade says, "Oh yeah, I forgot to show love to Dean Cain as Superman. I haven't watched that TV show for a while. He was good as Superman because I forgot." That's okay. Dean will forgive you. Verisimilitude says, "Thanks, Knight. I appreciate that. And also you staying on late." Well, I appreciate you, so you're very welcome. As we had a moment of silence for all Friday the 13th movies that want to be filming but can't for whatever reasons across the world. What's before we end, what's Matt's plans for later on? Are you gonna order a pizza or what's your dinner plans? Verisimilitude says, yeah, the aim is to have it take place at Crystal Lake Camp. Okay, cool. Very cool. C-Snap says, how about Nicolas Cage as Superman? It nearly happened. They spent 20 million on it before pulling the plug. Great pics of Cage wearing the costume. Yeah, I guess I can see that younger. I guess ultimately I can't really see him as, but he got kind of muscular. I wonder if that's why he got muscular in like the mid to late 90s. Come to think of it, maybe he got muscular to do that movie. Matt's still figuring that out, to be honest. Yeah. Well, best of luck. Hopefully you can find a corporate pizza place that's open around your area, or otherwise you can do your thing you mentioned. I don't know how many, you know, places are really open, but I'm sure there's places that are open to use your EBT. Well, best of luck with your Thanksgiving dinner plans. It's just a frickin' any other day at the end of the day. Oh, so Matt says only gas stations are really open to get a sandwich. Okay. Only in Philly was their places open. Wade says Nicolas Cage used to own the first edition of one of the Superman comics. He ended up selling it years ago, probably had to pay something off. These rich celebrities end up in debt. Yeah, I never understood how that happens, but whatever. I guess you get used to spending and maybe it's hard to stop spending. I don't know. Verisimilitude says, with Friday the 13th, I'm going for a 1 to 4 tone as they are my favorite of the franchise. Right on. We're in complete agreement there. That's awesome. Yeah, yeah. The more you talk about it, the more I want to see it. And I'm sure you're ready to do it as well. C-Snap says he named his son Cal-El also. Oh my God, that's a little much. Whatever. Yeah, that is a little much. All right, guys. I hope you will be okay if I end the show in 10 minutes. But my brain's mush, and it's gonna be time before long for me to eat some Thanksgiving pizza. So I'd say about 10 more minutes. Oh, my brain. Yeah, I think you mentioned this in the spring, Verisimilitude. He adds his plans for his Friday the 13th movie. Lots of mood and atmosphere. Yeah, like I say, every time you say more and more of what your intentions are for it, makes me want to see it more the more, and or I mean all the more. And things like that and stuff. And definitely makes me hope that things can improve to where you're actually able to do it. But now, do you think you're going to be able to do it? Because summer's just approaching there. You think you'll be able to do it anytime soon, or is it just so bad you can't even do anything? Verisimilitude says leave whenever you want. Nate, mic dropped. Yeah, it'll be in about 9 minutes. C Snap says, okay, Nate / guys, see y'all next week. Hopefully, well, I'm skipping the show next week because of something else I got to do. So it won't be next Thursday, but maybe the one after that. Thanks a lot for showing up, C Snap. This time we got to have you talk, aka Joe. We'll catch you on the next show. I'm gonna see if I can, make a Nate and Beth show happen sometime over the next coming days, but I'm not promising anything. Yeah, I'll be out of here in probably 8 minutes and do the old mic drop. Matt asks if Beth does Beth watch my videos? No, she doesn't really have time. I think she kind of, knowing me personally, I think they're kind of goofy for her to watch because I got this whole internet persona thing, even though it is like me. I don't know. I think she's kind of uncomfortable watching me because even though it is me, I'm still kind of have that little bit of a theatrics of, I don't know how to explain it. I guess she's not interested in watching the videos, which is fine. I mean, I don't want to just that's I don't she doesn't watch them. Verisimilitude says, nah, probably not for a while. Unfortunately, well, they won't be able to film the movie for a while, unfortunately, but it gives me more time to improve the script a bit. Yeah, that's true. You got to turn a negative situation into a positive. Matt says that's funny that Beth doesn't like to watch my videos. Oh my God, Nate, you act so weird on all your videos. Yeah, I hear you. It's okay. I mean, she's doesn't have time, which is understandable. I don't take it personally. Oh man, well, you're gonna have verisimilitude. You're gonna have that script perfect by the time you're able to shoot. That's for sure. I do act pretty weird. Ooh, hello everyone. Oh, that's funny. All right, everyone. T minus 6 minutes and counting. It's just as well. I think the chat's kind of dying off, which is understandable. Freaking 3 hours of this. Verisimilitude says, my intention is to make the part 5 we should have got. Oh, okay. That's a cool idea. Ugh. It'd be interesting to go back in a time machine on opening day of New Beginning and just stand outside of theaters and get reactions of what people thought. I mean, we love New Beginning now for what it is, but or at least I do. But at the time, oh my God, it must have been a big disappointment. If they're thinking first Halloween 3 and now this. Oh my God. That's a cool idea to do the Friday 5 that we should have got. Like I say, every detail you reveal of your movie just makes me want to see it. So you're torturing me on Thanksgiving. I just keep looking at Matt's comment. Oh my God, Nate, you act so weird. Ah, that's funny. Matt says, I know how women are, Nate. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Verisimilitude says, my movie starts with Jason as a boy. Origin. That's cool. You're torturing me, though. Matt says, so I figured that's something she might say. Oh, I see. Okay. 4 minutes left, everyone. Take it or leave it. Well, for those of you who, didn't show up until later, you've always got the option of listening from the beginning. Of course, all it is me just wondering if I'm going to have to quit early. The show starts from wondering if I'm going to have to quit early to going an hour longer. You got to love it. And because I'm OCD, I have to end on a even number, so I got to end at 3 hours. Well, I guess I could use this silence to once again thank everyone for showing up. Haven't seen Verisimilitude, and well, of course, I haven't been doing the shows all summer, which was his winter. But I think even in Australia, their winters don't get that horribly cold. Thanks everyone for showing up. As always, it's always cool to see faces that are usernames that I haven't seen for a while. Verisimilitude says there is some tatter sack Jason too. Oh my God, you're torturing me. Torturing me. All I can say is I really just, genuinely hope that you're able to someday shoot this, because that would be a major bummer, Well, I don't want to go there. I'll just say that. Best of luck with your being able to actually shoot it. Wade says, thanks, Nate, for an awesome show. We love your radio podcast or whatever it's called. It's called a radio show, but thank you very much. See you next time. If not Nate and Beth's show over the weekend, it won't be until the week after December 2nd. But as always, you've got 10 years of output to keep you entertained until the next live show rolls around. Interesting. That's what you call a sack in Australia, a tatter sack. That's cool. I did a review of this Australian movie, and I made a comment of the parking lot being called a car park, and some guy from Australia left a comment of, what the hell else are you gonna call it? It's just like, Jesus Christ, I just mentioned something. Fuck. So the disadvantages of the internet, just fucking psychos out there lurking in the comments. But at least YouTube finally removed their ability to hate with the thumbs down. 30 seconds left, everyone. Enjoy your thanks crapping, and best of luck with Matt finding some dinner on this thanks crapping. And Verisimilitude says some good moments with Jason and Pam together, which we've never seen. You're torturing me. Sounds great. Wade says the two Superman twins on your chat are the same age. If Verisimilitude 86 represent his birth year. And this is the sound of the mic dropping. Clunk. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.